Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Games. I'm your host and like excited Eddie V. Join me, is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Ed. It is the summer of gaming season, as they now say, instead of E3 season.
Yes, everybody.
So
I think
stupid.
this is like a special Pow Block mini block. And since I know
No,
it
it's
has,
we're just going over all the announcements that were made during Summer Games Fest and Summer of Gaming and whatever they
yes,
we. So now that E3 isn't a thing anymore, we need a cohesive term to call everything, because we would always just say, oh, it's E3, but like even for the stuff that's not E3.
mm-hmm.
And now everybody has something different, right? Like Keeley has the Summer Games Fest, IGN has Summer of Gaming, Xbox is kind of doing their own thing. Then there's the Wholesome Direct, the Devolver, what do they call it this year? I forget what they called it. Their Direct. And it's just like, man, it is just all over the place. Like that, as much as I don't miss E3 in particular, like it was nice to have that kind of cohesive
That
uh
organization.
time. Yes, the
Yeah,
organization, you knew when things were happening, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this stuff's all over the place.
right.
And I know
Because
like the
like,
Summer Gaming website has, or the Summer Game Fest has site has all that information on it in the schedule and everything for everything, but they're not involved in all of it. And so
yeah, that just weird and everything. And I, cause like Annapurna, they're like in 2 more weeks. So it's just like their direct hasn't even happened. And then whatever happens
yeah,
in July and stuff. Like
yeah, there's
the
something is happening in July. I forget which one's happening in July, but there's one in July. And it's
like
like,
the
why?
right, like the Tribeca Game Festival. Didn't no one know. Um the Summer Game Fest, and nobody knew and stuff. Not the Keeley's thing, but it was another thing and stuff. And I'm like, man, this, I think that was the one thing, because me and Daniel kind of talked about it, just like this, these shows was just everywhere and everything.
Mhm.
So that is the E3 part in the sense, because like if you went to an E3 convention, everything was everywhere. Like Nintendo had a spot, Microsoft had a spot, Sony, and then whatever third party. So going everywhere to get the information, that's E3 ish in a sense. I think I would just call it a summer direct. Like this is just a summer direct,
Mhm.
you know. Something simple. I know showcase is a big thing, but I'm like, no, summer direct just feels fine for
Yeah,
gaming.
it's weird, but it's fine. We're
Yes.
still getting game news, so whatever. It's just it's hard to say, well, during Summer Games Fest this would happen, and during the show, whatever. It's fine.
Right.
Also, it's
So
worth noting that we're recording in the middle of the day because
yes, on
my
Father's
my
Day. That is.
yeah, my wife and daughter are at ballet, and then they're going to go to Chuck E. Cheese after. And I just put my son down for a nap, so we're trying to get this out of the way. Not like out of the way as in like, well, we need to get it done, but like, you know, no offense, but we're also recording video game book club tonight for Zelda, and I don't really feel like recording this at like 11:30 at night. So,
I, yeah, I hear that. And today's my mom's birthday.
ooh,
So we're gonna go out to eat for her birthday. And I got her a car and everything. I just gotta put it together because I kind of wanted to give it to her so she could read
mm,
it and everything.
mm,
Um, so uh, we was talking about just like, what did you get for the woman who has everything for her birthday? It's so hard and
a
everything.
hug.
True, yes. Um, but Corey, we do have a lot to discuss. But before we get with that, everybody, I do want to let you know that we are going to be getting more to our summer panels and things in July. And I think we are taking our summer break for not Power Block, for Boss Rush sometime in July. So we will have recorded content, but as content creators, we won't be recording for a week. So we will give you guys that heads up, and you still get content from Patreon and everything. So just want to let you guys know that that's happening in July. Um, Corey, I want to ask you before we like jump into like Xbox and all these other presentations. Um, do you feel like Nintendo should have been here? Because I've been watching a lot of other people podcasts, and they feel like they really miss Nintendo's presence in the Summer Direct.
Well, to me, I feel like Nintendo is like waiting for all this to happen because they are very deliberate on when they place things, right? And
Hmm.
if they wanted to show something here, right? Like and I know Nintendo has a good relationship with Jeff Keighley, right? And they may have shown something, but like I think whatever Nintendo's about to do, there's something. I think there's something bigger than we expect. I was really thinking about this because obviously Xbox had a killer showcase. Ubisoft
Yes.
showcase was pretty great too, and I think that Nintendo is deliberately avoiding all this so that the news cycle doesn't pass them by.
Hmm.
I think a lot of and I know Nintendo is like every time Nintendo shows something, they're always the highlight of the show, especially with the Switch being as popular as it is, and the games being as popular as they are. Uh, but sometimes I think companies don't, especially Nintendo. I don't think they sometimes they don't see that, and a lot of companies want to have their own thing that way
Yes.
that the news cycle doesn't rush by them, right? I mean, look at Summer Games Fest. The Keeley went first, right? And nobody's talking about that one. They're all talking about the Xbox and the Ubisoft ones, right? Because they went last and they were the most impressive. And uh, so I don't think Nintendo wants to get caught up in all that either. I think they want to. I mean, we kind of talked about it already. I think we're going to see something at the end of June, early July.
Hmm.
There's rumors floating around that it's going to be first and third parties floating around. It's going to be a smaller direct, but if still like a full direct. Uh, so we'll see. Although you and I have kind of also tackled that maybe Nintendo just does a Pikmin specific direct and then a partner
Yeah.
showcase, which is something we also tossed around. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't I do miss when Nintendo doesn't quote unquote participate in these things, but like it just seems like everybody's doing their own thing right now, and
Hmm.
Nintendo has always done their own things. So Nintendo Nintendo fans need to be patient. Nintendo knows what they're doing, and they'll show something when they're ready.
Yeah, because I know they're supposed to be having a summer tour lined up. They're supposed to be having their like fan fest kind of thing,
Hmm.
and games, the the one in Germany, Gamescom. I know they're supposed to be
Hmm.
attending, so it's kind of. I think it just feels so weird that Nintendo isn't here, but because we've been focused so much, and even here on Pow Block, we've been focused so much on Xbox needing to show something. They literally deliver. So Xbox is getting that good press
Yeah,
by word of mouth, and
and
people.
it's not to say
Okay.
that. Sorry, not to interrupt, but like Xbox did show quite a few things that were coming to Nintendo Switch, right? I mean,
Hmm.
the Persona stuff, I assume, is coming to Switch. I think they confirmed as much. Uh, I bet that Towerborn, that game that Microsoft is
Overborn.
publishing from Stoic, I bet that comes to Switch. That looks like a pretty easy game to maybe move to Switch. It doesn't
It
look
it
too intense for the
it
console.
looks to tell you the truth, it looks fitting for not only just Xbox but for Switch.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that, and obviously Ubisoft showed off the last DLC for Mario Rabbids. They
Hmm.
showed Prince of Persia, which looks awesome, by the way.
Yes.
Those are coming to Switch. Summer Game Fest had a few things, so I mean, there's still Switch things coming, right? Uh,
Yes.
but it's yeah, having Nintendo there directly kind of it didn't feel weird, but it was missed.
Yeah. And I was watching February's direct, and they still like half of that list of games that they announced, they still don't have a date. Like we don't have Fire Emblem DLC yet for and everything. We don't have a date for that. I know that we got the One to Switch sequel coming up this month and
Mhm.
Pikmin next month. But I'm just like, we still got content for the rest of the year for Nintendo. We just need to see it. But our the content that we really needed was Microsoft. So did you want to start off with Xbox, or did you want to save Xbox for a little
I
bit
mean,
later?
it doesn't matter. I mean, we could probably go in order, I guess. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff that was like really exciting for me as
Mm,
an Xbox player from the Xbox showcase. I think even games that I wasn't excited for, they did enough for me to at least be like, okay, I definitely want to like see that. Um, but also like the Summer Game Fest proper showing showed
yes.
quite a few things too, right? Like so I guess we could start there. Do we want to talk about mainly things that are coming to Switch, or do we want to talk about everything or somewhere in between? I mean, somewhere in between probably would
I
be all
think
right. I don't think we don't need to
yeah,
go over every single thing that was
everything.
announced, right? So,
Yeah, because like starting it off with Prince of Persia, the show was like starting out with a banger. That
mhm,
game looks amazing in this animation, the moveset. And what's funny is that I think between me and you, it met a lot of our requirements. Awesome artwork,
mhm,
some great action. Not really worried about it was a Metroidvania, but it did have that Metroid Dread cutscene kind of on a like diagonal kind of feel to it and everything.
mhm.
And it the character design is so much better. It looks
Yeah,
really good. And I feel like regardless of what platform you're going to be playing this on and or people double dip, I think out of the gate, this could be a million seller. Just out of the gate. I don't know what the price point is going to be,
it's
but
50. I think they said it was $50.
50. I think it could be a million seller. Just out of the gate. Because of so much interest is it for this game.
Yeah, this game looks really great. I think I really like the art style. I like the combat. It kind of reminds me of like old school God of War a little bit. Um
Mm-hmm.
like that fast-paced melee action kind of uh juggling enemies in the air, doing these special moves. It looks really cool. I really like that and mix that with the kind of the Metroid Dread formula. I think it looks awesome. Uh
Yes.
So I'm glad that that's coming to Switch also. It probably will be like a 30 frames a second versus 60, or like the textures won't pop as well. But like, I mean, that looks like a perfect kind of game where like, I mean, they could also do things like Metroid Dread did if the right team is porting it or
Mm-hmm.
working on it, right? Where like, oh, the characters run at 60 and the backgrounds run at 30, or maybe you in the background the textures are 900p or 720p, while the ones up front are 1080p, right? Like they can do some really interesting things to make it feel at home, more at home on the Switch than maybe it might be anyway. But like I think that Prince of Persia looks awesome. I'm really excited to play it. I think this is the coolest thing they've done with Prince of Persia since like uh in
I
forever,
think
really.
I think since the time, like the one that came on like GameCube and Xbox and PlayStation, like I
Yeah,
feel.
well, the
I
one
mean,
that they released on Xbox 360, that sequel, kind of pseudo sequel that came out around the same time as the movie, was actually really good. It
yeah,
was like a Sands of Time sequel that took place in between, I want to say, Sands of Time and Warrior Within. Uh,
okay, yeah.
I actually really liked that one, but it didn't sell anything because obviously Assassin's Creed was hitting also, and that
Mhm.
movie that Disney did was, I liked it, but like it was critically kind of panned. So also they chose the whitest person to to play the Prince of Persia, Jake Gyllenhaal. So you know,
Yeah, uh,
not not that,
that's
uh, yeah, it's
we,
ugh,
everybody.
whatever.
All I'm just gonna say, something is coming back, and I'm gonna leave it at that. uh,
Uh,
so, um,
which
but
I
yeah,
mean,
I okay.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, that I think this one is gonna be a hit. Even though it is coming out next year, I think it's a must have to start 2024.
Hmm.
I don't know how long it's going to be, but I think if it gives us a good like 10 to 15 hours to get like everything,
Dude,
I'm
there's
down
gonna be a
for it.
banger. There's gonna be a banger game every week next year. You watch, like between across all consoles, right? Like you look
Hmm.
at, I mean, Prince of Persia, Hellblade 2, Avowed, almost everything Xbox showed was coming next year, except for Forza and Starfield, right? Like it's
Right.
just, oh my gosh, there's so much.
Yeah. Xbox
Uh,
Xbox is I feel like Xbox is doing the 2017 Switch kind of
mhm,
release, in the
yeah,
sense like there was just a game out every month, but surprisingly it was like banger after banger. And
hmm
even if it was like a low key game, it was still something that was for people to get. So I am definitely cannot wait to definitely play Prince of Persia.
yeah. It looks really good. Plus, like, we were talking about banger after banger, like one a month next year for Xbox. I mean, they have the they have the fortunate side of having that third party support too that Nintendo,
Hmm.
kind of has but doesn't really have, especially early on, right? So, there's that also. Because like that Star Wars game was announced. I know people. Someone, I guess, is excited for the Avatar game.
I
You know,
just don't know what it is. I don't
it's
know
Far
what it's
Cry.
trying to be.
They confirmed it's Avatar Far Cry, essentially.
Okay.
So
Yeah, because I was looking
they're
at it and I'm
flying.
just like, I think I was so impressed by Star Wars Outlaws that I want that more than
Yeah.
the Avatar game, and
Oh
and
man.
probably because I'm not a big Avatar. Yeah, Star Wars Outlaws looks phenomenal. That game looks
Yeah,
really good.
that game looks amazing. I can't wait to play that, like, for sure. That will be a day one purchase for me for sure.
Same.
Um, yeah. So, but I guess they also showed Mortal Kombat there, which is coming to Switch. Um,
Yeah, I'm not impressed.
Saber, what?
I'm not impressed with this game, Mortal Kombat One. And I think it's just like this this doesn't look any different than the last game, and the character models all look the same. Like the male characters, I'm like, who was Liu Kang? Who was Johnny Cage?
Mhm.
Like all of y'all look like repurposed characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to do something with Mortal Kombat now that makes it different, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I would argue since 9, but probably more 10, that the game hasn't really looked any different. I mean, they've tried some interesting things with, like, stances. Ignore that. Do not answer it.
Yeah,
Don't answer
no, I'm putting it
it.
on Do Not Disturb.
uh, but they do some interesting things with, like, stances, and now they're bringing in the cameos, the cameo fighters, right? And
Hmm.
like they're trying to switch it up, but like I don't really know how you do anything different unless you went what Street Fighter 6 route is doing, where you create your own character and combine different types of moves into your created character, right? uh
Hmm.
which, by the way, Street Fighter 6 looks pretty outstanding as well. But that they didn't show that. It's obviously already out, but like watching that game looks fun. uh it looks weird though, because like I'm so used to Street Fighter being like Ryu versus Ken or Chun-Li and Blanc, like the
Yeah.
characters that you think of, not like Robot Man versus Balloon Girl or something, right? It's just like all these weird things.
Yeah.
Uh,
Street Fighter Six, I kind of like I said, I respect. I didn't pick it up or anything. I might wait for a sale. I think like I said, Tekken 8 just looks like the top tier fighting game, and I think it's because it's Bandai Namco. using Unreal Engine 5, and it looks like it's straight 60 frames per second without any drops. And the combos, and the character movements and character designs just look jaw dropping gorgeous. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, this game looks so good. Not as out of all the three of the fighting games, definitely Tekken 8 is on my must have list. Like for my Series 8. Like even
Mhm.
LeBron knows that I'm just like, dude, I'm waiting for this game, and I can't wait to pick a character and just learn it and just go all in. I want my tail beat online. I do want to beat so I can learn. Um, but yeah, Tekken 8. I really wish that that was here at the presentation. I want to see more.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/BossRushMedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.
Yeah. So what else even big was shown at Summer Game Fest? Like were there any highlights from that for you from there specifically?
Sonic Superstars was
Oh
the
yeah,
big
Sonic
one.
Superstars. Yeah, that game looks awesome.
That looks good. Yeah.
Although a lot of people have concerns because it's the Bow and Wonder World team working on it. But
mhm.
I'm like, these are a bunch of ex-Sonic people. I'm sure that they know what they're doing in a 2D Sonic game. I think that game looks awesome. Also coming to Switch, by the way. So there's that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm going to give this one more of a chance because Wonder Wonderland or Wonderworld just had so many problems and everything. And I guess this one, because it is kind of going back under Sega's umbrella and not Square Enix. And yeah, Yuji Naka is not going to really be involved because of his censorship. I think they're really going to focus on, okay, what is the core that when the Sonic game was made in the past, how do we bring it into this new modern area and get it right? And I think they're going to do that.
yeah.
Yes, the 2D Sonics are easier to do because it's supposed to be great platforming, fast speed at times, and how is your level design going to include corkscrews and loop de loops and all of that? And are there going to be some interesting boss fights? I think it's going to be an exciting game. Anything I want, definitely, if you're going to give me bomb levels and all of these characters, I want a bomb soundtrack. Like I need, like Sonic is supposed to have great music.
Mhm.
And right now for me, still Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is still the leading soundtrack for that whole series.
Mhm.
That's just bomb big.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is also looks like Sega's attempt to capture the new Super Mario Brothers
Hmm.
side-scrolling multiplayer thing, which I don't know if it's going to work for Sonic, but also you can definitely play this game by yourself, so it really doesn't matter. Because that's how I played new Super Mario Brothers, was by myself, right? So uh I don't know. I think it looks interesting. I hope it's good, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Um I
Um,
hope it gives me that feeling like when the Sonic Generations came out, right? So
yeah. The two Like a Dragon games I'm looking forward to. I know I still got to go through the last one,
mhm.
which I'm gonna sit down and play. Uh,
Oh, by the way, speaking of Like a Dragon, ah,
yes.
so I got the last one. It was on
Oh
Amazon.
yes.
The Steelbook
I got the same one.
was $11.
Serious?
Yeah, and like dude, it was so cheap. I didn't even know I ordered the Steelbook, and when it got here, I was like, "Oh, it's the Steelbook."
Right, because I
um,
got mine from Best Buy like for 15. But
mhm,
this was like last year when I got it.
yeah,
Dude, you
yeah,
got a steal.
I know, and
Well,
like,
actually, with a steel bug.
yeah, uh, but what I'm trying to, and I know maybe some long term listeners are like, I thought you said you were all digital. I am all digital, but when we move, I'm planning on building a set full of like, and I need some physical copies of games to build a set to record from.
Mm.
And so I'm trying to find some games that are like games that I like, to be honest, that are relatively cheap to put on shelves when I do these things. So uh but yeah, I've been getting I also got Hellblade sealed for $10 with the sleeve, which was nice. So
I need to find one for
mhm.
Xbox. I know, because I didn't know they did a physical. I know they
For
did
Hellblade,
the, yeah.
yeah, it has all like the mental health organization stuff on the on the front, like when you buy it, right, you
Mm,
donate to the mental health organization that they supported. And so I don't know, that game is really important, especially like there's a lot of things going on right now, and that kind of means a little bit more to us as a family right now than it used to. Not that it didn't
that
mean it, but
yeah, I
we've you
think
and I have kind of talked about it. So
yeah, I definitely Hellblade, just the first one. It's definitely a game that I own across 3 platforms:
yeah.
Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation. Like even when it dropped on PlayStation 4, I had to buy it. And then when I seen it come for the Xbox, I'm like, okay, I definitely got to get it. Because I'm like, when they said the
Hmm.
proceeds, part of the proceeds was being donated to mental health, I was just like, I'm all for it. Yeah, give it to me. And
Hmm.
plus, I love Ninja Theory. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I I also own it on all 3 platforms, mostly because, like, it was the PlayStation exclusive,
Hmm.
uh, and then the Xbox version came out. I'm like, "Well, I would rather play it on Xbox because that's my preferred platform." Uh, and then when it came to Switch, obviously, we had to figure out if it was worth getting on the Switch because we do this show, uh, and it was actually relatively playable on the Switch. It wasn't, it looked there's some visual downgrades for sure, and there's a
Hmm.
whole Digital Foundry video about the Switch version if you want to go see it, but it's definitely not bad, the Switch port. So
The Switch version for me was, I just glad to have a Ninja Theory game on that platform. That's always been something that I've been wanting to have.
mhm,
Ninja Theory to have something on Nintendo, because I always wonder what could those two create if they ever had the chance to create,
yeah,
like make a game.
mhm,
So, um, but yeah, speaking of Hellblade, Hellblade 2 is going to be jaw dropping.
yeah,
Like
it's
I like I'm I don't know. I'm trying to debate when that game drops, and depending on what comes out, do I set aside at least 2 weeks for that game directly, just straight 2 weeks playing only that.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be man, that game. Here's the thing about Hellblade 2, right?
Mm,
I don't think it's going to be this massive game that everybody wants it to be. I think it's gonna be a lot more like the first one than people anticipate, and I actually think some people are gonna be disappointed with that. Um, I'm not, because I really like the first game a lot, and I want
hmm
them to expand on that first game, but, I think people are gonna kinda be disappointed, to be honest with you.
I think if the combat is better or it's improved, uh, it should be fine. Because I think more people went into that game, hopefully for the story and hearing the different voices and just seeing how technical Ninja Theory was. But yeah, I agree with you. I can see that.
And
Yeah.
that kinda makes me sad a little bit because, I think this game is so great. Um, but, we'll see, I suppose.
Yeah. At the last part for the summer game fest, besides the like a dragon, Warhammer 40K looks amazing.
Oh, yeah, the
Uh,
Space Marines
I
too.
I kind of wanted to come to the console. Um,
It is. It's
Because
coming to it's coming to Xbox. They confirmed it's coming to Xbox at least.
oh, so it is coming. Okay, so then
Yeah.
I'll wait for
Well,
the
the
Xbox
trailer's on their
version.
YouTube channel, so I hope hope that means it's coming to Xbox. That
Okay.
first one was
Uh,
awesome. That first one
I
was
never
so
got to
cool.
play the first one.
Oh man, dude, you should try to track it down if you can. It's kind of like if Gears of War like on a 10
Hmm.
like cuz like you can jump and you have this chainsaw like sword which is kind of cool and I liked it's the most 7 out of 10 game you've ever played, but
Uh,
it goes really it kind of reminds me of Darksiders in that sense where it's the most 7 out of 10 game that you've ever played,
mm,
but it goes hard and it really leans into it and that's what makes it so
yeah.
fun. And
No, well, I think I I think for me it's just I didn't know. Was it 360 that it came out?
mhm. It was a
Okay,
360 exclusive, if I remember correctly. I don't think it
I
came to
think
PlayStation.
okay. I think because I wasn't into the Warhammer franchise, and I think it just felt like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was just and plus I didn't have a 360 at the time. I think I just wasn't interested. I know I had it on Xbox One, and I mean, yeah, of course I had the Xbox One, but I didn't know if they did like backwards compatible with it. And maybe I'll check the store. Maybe I'll see if it's on Series X store. And see if it comes up.
I don't think it's backwards compatible. I think that's one of the games that's not backwards compatible,
Okay.
which is why I think it's worth so much right now because you can't get it. Uh, you can't get it, which kind of stinks. But
I think it would be cool if you got like if you bought the second one, you get like a free download code for the first one if you missed it or something like
yeah,
that.
I would really like them to at least. I don't know how hard it is to do this stuff, but like just do like an HD up res remaster
Hmm.
of the first one because it's really fun. So if you guys have a
Yeah.
360 out there and you want to have a fun game that kind of reminds you of Gears of War, but not really, this is it.
It looks wacky, but it's so action packed, and I want it. I
Yeah.
know. Nick and the team at Beyond WASD, shout out to them. We're talking about it, and just like, oh, they so hyped for it, and then I was just like, it's it's craziness, and I love this because the shooting looks really really good. Like it feels addictive that you're
Hmm.
gonna have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. Highly recommended.
So. Yeah, but pretty much that's all it for Summer Games Fest. For day one, I could actually just tell you quickly from Capcom. Besides Ghost Trick and Ace Attorney Apollo Justice, nothing else. Nothing. I don't know anything about Pragmata. Don't care about this delay because we don't know nothing about the game. And everything else is just like, okay, Dragon's Dogma. That's
That well that new IP they showed off looks kind of interesting. That one that I thought was Onimusha for like the whole trailer until they revealed the
oh,
name.
Path. Yeah, Path of the Goddess. Yeah,
Yeah.
me and you both talked about it. We were just like, yeah, this is like on the Musha. Oh, it's a whole different IP. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah, like
man,
that's what I took from Capcom. I was just like, well, y'all showed this at Microsoft, so I was just like, and everything.
yeah.
I was literally expecting Mega Man, but not the mobile game, because
Yeah,
I was
man,
just
that
like,
was so
what is
disappointing. I
this?
got kind of excited because I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. They're finally like extending it to the Mega Man X." And then it was like, "Oh, well, hmm,
But
okay,
then
I guess."
I just, but now thinking about it, I'm just like, we did get the network battle collection for
Yeah.
consoles, so it's just like, okay, I guess we could wait. Now, Nitty, I literally hope you have an exclusive for Mega Man, the next Mega Man game, like Mega Man 12.
I
Like,
wonder if I wonder if Nintendo could get a timed exclusive for that. Kind of like they did with Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter,
I think that would I think that would really make sense for them. You know, I not that I'm like pulling for console exclusives at this point because like man, God knows as an Xbox player, there's enough games that skip that console anyways. But like,
mhm.
man, I would really, man, that'd be kind of big for them because like I know Mega Man 11 did pretty well for them, right? I mean,
Yes,
that it sold really well, especially on the Switch. So like I hope that they do that. Would you want another Mega Man X game, or would you want a Mega Man 12?
I I think it's time for a Mega Man X game. Uh,
What would that
I
be?
don't think I need.
X9,
Uh,
X9, right? X8,
I think
X9,
so. No,
9,
9.
9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's time for a new Mega Man X game. Uh, because I think a lot of people just don't know that the X games are a little bit more challenging than the regular Mega Man games.
Hmm.
And I would love to see what they could do with maybe a different art style. Um, and I literally would love for them to bring back fan made boss designs. Like, because that's what they did for, I think, two or three, or one of them. They were just like, if you sent in a fan made like boss design, if they liked it enough, they will put it in the game, and then they did all the
Yeah,
programming. So
which is
I would
funny.
love for, right, but like, it was cool though. That's something I feel like that would be awesome to see how, and definitely there'd be a lot of Japanese players designing that and stuff. But I would love to see a lot of artists, um, you know, really go in and like submit some Mega Man bosses. I think it would literally be cool to have that. Definitely just to like celebrate Mega Man's um the X series and everything. I think it would be really cool. Definitely the way that we seen now, even though this is a little bit Tears of the Kingdom, but to see a lot of creativity on how people been doing things in Tears of the Kingdom, like engineering wise. I would love for that to be art wise, to see what they could do.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah, be interesting. Um,
yeah.
I wonder when they'll do like like a. I don't know. I think Mega Man deserves some sort of like proper re not reboot, maybe a reboot.
Mm.
I don't know. I think it would be really interesting to see Mega Man in some sort of like 3D world that's not Mega Man Legends, you know?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Well, shoot, I think it's time for Legends 3 to come back. Like, I definitely could see that happening and
Yeah.
everything. I know, man. Mega Man has actually been, and this may be an expansion pass that we may have, or like kind of the history. He's been in a lot of genres. He's been in. He got a sports game. I think he got a racing game. Um, he has a Metroidvania style game. Uh, the Battle Network. Of course, the platforming, and then like a third party platform. He has an RPG that was on GameCube and PlayStation 2. I think
Hmm.
Xbox also. Like, he has a history of different genres and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like on the level of Mario. Shoot, he had a boss rush game and an
Hmm.
arcade game, two of them. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's literally like on the level of Mario with being in different genres.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it happens because I think Mega Man deserves some sort of love. So especially with like I don't know, Metal Gear coming back and Capcom
Hmm.
talking about Castlevania and like all these kind of classic franchises. Like that's the one. That's the one. So
Yeah, I was expecting Konami to show up, but they just
they did at the PlayStation show with Metal Gear.
I'm talking about, well, yeah. I was talking about more
I
though.
know
Um
that was my joke for the day. I will sit down now.
uh well, of course we had like the wholesome direct, and just to let everybody know the stuff that was kind of like announced at the wholesome direct that was kind of like for Switch.
Shout
Um
out to Kim Chica, friend of show, hosting the Wholesome Direct.
she did a phenomenal job. I had already ordered the shirts that they showcased even before like they announced it. I was just like, okay, let me see what they
Mhm.
got, and then I seen it, and I'm just like, yeah, let me order it. Yeah, Yeti. Yeah, you need to fix the site. Corey, thank you for that text that you sent me. And no, I did not go and order the shirt, but thank you for that text.
Oh, the Pikmin one.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I text you back. I was just like, you know me too well. And I fell out laughing.
that was a
Well,
pretty funny shirt. That was pretty funny. It's really
yes.
good.
There's kind of 12 games, everybody. Maniko's Night Market, which drops September 26th. Button City Soccer Days, Frog Song, Moonstone Island, Karma Zoo, Flutter Away, which is dropping August 3rd. A Little to the Left, Cupboards and Drawers DLC, June 27th. Smushy, Come Home, which is out now. Vimba, July 31st. That's the kind of Indian cooking game with the family moving like to Canada. That is on my list to buy. I'm so excited to play that one. Little Nemo and the Guardians of Slumberland, Garden Witch Life, and Grimoire Grows. So, and you guys can go watch the presentation. It's like about 50 minutes. Like Corey said, shout out to Kim Chica. She hosted with two other guests. And the way that they ended it was just so funny and yet so cute. And if you guys are interested in any of those games, if you got a Steam account, you can wish list them and let those developers know that you're interested in their game. I could have like wish list almost 95% of that whole direct, but
Mhm.
yeah, that wholesome direct, the wholesome directs are so good, and I know a lot of people don't really talk about them or anything, but I love that they have it and people get to see all of these indies from around the world and all of these creators and stuff. And just welcoming more casual games into the space of game.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are looking forward to a lot of those. So especially what Smooshy, a lot of people, especially in Boss Rush, are looking forward to. So
Yeah.
that's out though.
Uh
You said so.
yeah, it's out. I think Stephanie is playing it uh at this time. I
Hmm.
don't know if she's doing a review. Um but
Yeah,
she is playing it.
yeah. We'll probably talk about it on Boss Rush this week. So
Uh, Future Game Show, that's what it was. High Water was just releasing sometime this year. Resistor, Headbangers, Rhythm Royale, The Last Faith is just dropping in October. Laka H through Blood, that one looks very interesting. Enchanted Portals, moving out to Punch Club 2 Fast Forward, which is dropping July 20th. Steam World Build, Ruffy and the Riverside, Playo Pines, which drops September 26th. Paper Trail, Mythwrecked, Ambrosia Island, Remedium, Stray Gods, the role playing musical, which is coming out August 3rd. That one looks really good. If you have not seen that game, look it up. The animation is phenomenal. But yeah, that's kind of the games that's coming to Switch for it. It's like kind of I think almost like an hour and a half presentation, so you guys could check that out. But yeah, that that one looks really really good. So uh so in case anybody want to go check that one out, you can check that out. um so did we talk about Ubisoft, Corey? Did you have anything else from Ubisoft?
um I mean, we kind of talked about Star Wars already and Prince of Persia and the Mario
Yeah.
Rabbids DLC. So I mean, those were like the big things for me. Oh, also Assassin's Creed Mirage, I'm pretty interested in just because I really like that series. So
Hmm.
I'm interested to see what a quote unquote classic Assassin's Creed game looks like in 2023. Uh so it's that I mean, man, I almost wonder if they like thought about remaking the first one and then it just kind of turned into this because that game looks an awful lot like the first game, like probably on purpose,
it
you know.
it looked like the Assassin's Creed 2, and I think it's just a color palette um for it. I'm just like, ugh. So I don't know. I just need to probably rewatch it and study it some more. Um
Yeah.
so let's jump into Xbox.
Yeah.
Uh
This was the big one. This direct had me incredibly excited for uh the future of Xbox, because
Hmm.
we've been talking, because I think besides Switch, Xbox is kind of where we play most of our games. I think you're a little bit
Yeah,
more well-rounded than I am, but it's just, as an Xbox owner and fan, I've been waving the flag of Xbox for so long, of like, it's I don't think people understand how game development works. And then, like, they've had a few stumbles, like, the Halo roadmap wasn't exactly what they planned it to be. A lot of games got delayed out of 2022, so they didn't really have a major first party game. The Redfall debacle, the Activision Blizzard stuff, kind of not closing yet, as of this recording.
yeah,
And so, like, there's been a lot of negative notions towards the Xbox, and some of it is fair, I think, but some of it also, it feels like the
it's just
media is just
unfortunate.
like, yeah, it feels like the media is just ganging up on Xbox, and I don't think that that's really fair either, because the Xbox offers a lot of things that, honestly, the other two platforms don't offer. Like, backwards compatibility is incredible. The way they're implementing backwards compatibility is
Hmm.
awesome. The store, I don't know, is organized and neat and is easily navigatable. The dashboard is great. Quick resume is awesome. Uh, and
Yes.
like games are on, like, I get that, like, when we were growing up, games would come out. I mean, look at the NES. There are games that would come out, sequels that would come out 8, 9 months after the other game, right? And so,
Hmm.
yeah, that was awesome. But then when you got into, like, PS2, GameCube, Xbox era, sequels would come out a year and a half to 2 years later, and then you get to 360, and it was like 2 to 3 years later. And now we're on, like, these 5-year dev cycles that I don't think people are, like, acknowledging that either. And so, like, when they acquired these studios, right, all these studios they acquired, we're either finishing up a project or just starting a project, right? And you got to give it to Obsidian, right, for putting out all these great games, whether they're big or small, right? And they're on their fourth game
Yeah.
now for Xbox since the acquisition. Sorry. uh and I think that, since Phil Spencer took over, the we're finally seeing what everybody's been waiting to see from Xbox, aside from, the just playing on the platform, right? Uh, a ton of first party stuff, a ton of things you can play on Game Pass, a lot of great, seemingly quality titles from Bethesda
Hmm.
and Xbox. I don't know. The only nitpick I actually had about this showcase was, like, why did you end on a Series S announcement? You should have ended on Clockwork Revolution, right? And leading into
I,
Starfield, but that's like a
and that's why I felt like that Starfield trailer part and the Black S should have switched. I'm fine with having the
well,
hardware
I
like
think the Black S should have been, like, it should have been before Clockwork Revolution. They said, "Here's one more thing before we go into the Starfield showcase," and they should have ended on Clockwork Revolution. That was my only. I would have swapped
Mm.
those two things, uh, leading into Starfield. So, but other than that, like, everything they showed, I have some level of interest in playing. Especially, like, they kicked it off with Fable. Oh my gosh, that Fable trailer was awesome.
It's so funny, yes.
Uh, and
That one was so good.
and I like the take that Playground is taking with Fable. Right, it looks like they're taking it has that same kind of humor and fun and world, I think, but it looks like a complete reboot, right? It's not like a
Hmm.
continuation or anything. It's a complete reboot, and it looks like, from what now, I'm just judging it from this one slice, right? But it looks like they're taking on all these classic fairy tales, like Shrek style almost, and, like,
Yeah.
turning them on their heads. And because this was, obviously, Jack and the Beanstalk was this world, this mission, right? And,
Yes.
I wonder how they're gonna tackle these other fairy tales, but man, Fable looks great. Fable looks awesome, and they kicked the chicken, which was a big nod to Fable Fable fans, so that was fun.
Yes. Because I know they're not going like they said. This is not like Aesop fables or anything like that. This is like the
Mhm.
fairy tales that you grew up with. So yeah, like Jack and the Beanstalk. And you'll probably get a mission with that's gonna be like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, like which you probably have to end up fighting or
Mhm.
something. It's probably gonna be comedic or and everything, like
Or
getting
Red Riding
dinosaur
Hood,
punches.
or,
Yeah,
like, some of these, Brothers Grimm fairy tales, right? Like, man, there's so much they could do. It'd be really fun to see a lot of these in action. So,
yes. Um Definitely Flight Simulator 2. I or 2024 I should say, really looks interesting because they're adding like they're adding a lot to that game.
they're
I'm
adding
not like, ooh.
campaigns. They're adding campaigns. These are, like,
Mhm.
single player campaigns that you can, like, go and learn how to do these jobs through these single player campaigns, which is a tall task, you know? So,
Yes.
uh,
And I'm not really like over the moon with the Doom like DLC crossover thing with 23. It is what
yeah,
it
but,
is.
I mean, they
Um
they gotta do something, right? I mean, you gotta do some sort of crossover to get someone interested that's not interested in flying planes, right? Like, I mean, the only reason
right.
why I played the last one was they had the Halo thing in it, right? And it was interesting and it was fun and I crashed and I'm like, okay, that's enough for me, and I uninstalled it. But, like, obviously not every game is going to be for everybody, right? And this is just one of those
Yes.
games. But Flight Simulator is huge, right? I mean, they use it to train pilots. So I mean, it's not
Mhm.
like um
Right.
I don't know.
It and it's so like it got what I think PC Game of the Year, or it got that nomination. Like it was up there when it came out on PC. I think it got like tens and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think 24 could do the same thing. So I'm really not mad at it. Think I think it's gonna be the same release that is gonna hit PC first and then consoles later.
Yeah.
That could change though. Um but it was just interesting to see, and then to see the hype for a lot of PC players was City Skylines too.
Hmm.
Like the hype was in like how we feel about Roller Coaster Tycoon, Corey. That
Hmm.
was the same kind of emotion and reactions people were having, and they were just like, "I need to plan out my city now." And I didn't know that it had that kind of fan base until this presentation and everything. Because I'm just trying to figure out. I'm like, what are they doing? Is this Sim City? And then no, I was just like, oh wow, okay. And then
Hmm.
it was just what I think what made me happy to see, like I said, was the reactions that people are excited to play this game.
Yeah. It looks cool.
Yeah. South by Midnight. I do want to see more of that. That one looks really, really good. Um,
Yeah.
and I think I think when you was talking about it, I was just like, I feel like that claymation animation style for in game, I know that sounds weird, the claymation style in games, it looks like that's going to be a thing that's coming, not the next best thing for arts and graphics, but I think it's going to be something that's coming in a sense. Of course we had like Clay Fighter back in the 16-bit days, but like
Well, I don't know if
I
you
gotta give it
watched.
to Nintendo. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I don't know if you
Oh,
saw the Prince of Persia trailer, the trailer, but they was showing some like stop motion animation too, a little bit like
ooh,
that. So that was,
uh-huh.
like you said, it might be coming into play here in terms of some sort of stylized thing.
Shout out to Nintendo for Kirby and the Rainbow Curse on Wii U. Like that. I kind of feel like animation of Rise. That was kind of. I feel like that's the birth of it in a sense for this modern age, and it was because like it was something nobody was doing, and it just looks so good. Of course, it's something that's kind of hard to play because you're playing it, But watching, like, if you were able to just watch a playthrough of it and everything, you will probably drop your jaw on what was Nintendo thinking and why is this gorgeous in movie
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So, yeah, I mean, it's I oh they then they showed what Star Wars and then 33 Immortals they showed off,
mhm.
which was that Thunder Lotus indie game.
Yeah, I'm planning to get that one. I'm excited to see
Yeah,
uh
that
how
was
that goes.
interesting. Avowed looked really colorful and interesting. I I know they were initially going for some sort of open world Skyrim style game, but I think
Mhm.
having this smaller scope, focusing on relationships with your characters, at like an Outer Worlds esque version of of Skyrim, actually fits Obsidian better in a lot of ways, especially when you're dealing with a lot of personal relationships and just keeping it
So
within this
so I
small area.
I kind of want to go back and watch the first trailer because it feels different than what we seen
You mean the
this year.
CGI proof of concept trailer that didn't show
Yeah,
any gameplay or anything?
yeah, because it feels. I mean, it just no. Because I wonder if they had an idea and it got changed midway
They
through production.
It did. That's what that they came out and said that it did. They said that they were like their initial pitch was like we're going to do our version of Skyrim and they greenlit it and then partway through production they said let's focus and with the success of the Outer Worlds obviously they're like let's focus on what
Mhm.
we're good at, this smaller dense experience with characters and relationship building and choice based stuff. And so that's kind of what they did, which is fine with me.
Okay,
You know, stick
because
with what
I
you're good at.
wonder. I wonder did they do that when they was about to start production after they got greenlit. Like
I
after they
mean,
made the trailer and be like, okay, we're gonna really dig into, and then it just got switched.
I don't know. I don't think that's how game development works, but I mean, I think they probably just thought that this would be better for the product, and so they were,
Mhm.
they leaned into that direction. So I think it's better for the game, honestly. I think it's better for Obsidian. I think it's better for Xbox fans to have, I don't know, a game they might be able to finish in less than a month.
I'm
Because like
I'm different. Yeah.
obviously you look at something like Starfield, which we'll get there, but like nobody's finishing that game ever. So
Uh, so, um, but I oh shoot, I wonder, do they got to release review copy? Oh, they got to review. They got to release review copies in August.
they're probably already out, to be fair. Review copies, that game is humongous.
Hmm.
That those review copies are what is it, June? When does it come out? September? They'll
September,
probably be
yeah.
out like next week and they'll give people 6 weeks. So
Uh, yeah. Um, let's see. So, of course, Forza Motorsport, I'm excited for October 10th. Um, Payday 3 didn't look interesting to me. I'm like, okay.
it looks like
Uh,
Payday. It's fine.
right.
Eh,
Uh, I gotta say, of course, like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth was funny.
Yeah.
Um, that was funny. I'm. I know we talked about this in the past, Corey, but we talked about Sega's and Microsoft's relationship on
Yeah.
how good it is,
Hmm.
and I think it's fitting. Them just having a relationship and everything. Of course, like Sony got relationships with Square Enix, and stuff, and Nintendo just got like good relationships, kind of with almost everybody, but with a lot of the Japanese developers like Platinum, Bandai Namco. Those are like, and hopefully, and I think wait for it. I think starting definitely Mercury Steam. Um, so they kind of got those partnerships, the good relationships. I'm loving the Sega and Atlas one. Um,
Hmm.
because they have a good visibility, and because of that great visibility, it gets great word of mouth that people will be willing to be like, oh, this game is coming to Game Pass, I'll definitely play it there and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I know people just trying to mock Microsoft to be like, "Oh, y'all just doing this to win over the Japanese crowd." I'm like, no. I think the stuff that's been missing from Microsoft's portfolio, they're trying to deliver. And I'm like, if Sega is willing to have a good partnership with Microsoft to do this, even if it's just us in the West in Europe, bring it. I'm down for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
I think sorry, I got a message. Yeah, I think what the Sega relationship is going to do for Nintendo or for Nintendo for Xbox, it draws a lot of it, and not necessarily in terms of sales because I know a lot of these things are coming to Game Pass, but like
mhm.
it's going to get eyes on these games, right? It's going to get more eyes on the games, which I think is what Sega and Atlas are aiming to do. And
Yes.
putting it on Game Pass is probably the best way to do it, especially if they're coming to other consoles. Because I'm sure a lot of people want Persona on Switch, and a lot of people are going to want, um, Yakuza on PlayStation, which is totally fair, right? That's fine. But like having these games on Xbox is important. It is important to the ecosystem. It's important to the brand. It's important to the uh, like just the recognition of the brand that it's not just a Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War machine, right? And that's something too I want to point out is that the only heavy hitter that showed up at this event was Forza, right? Out of the kind of the big 3 that you think of when you think of Xbox. Halo wasn't
Yeah.
there, Gears wasn't there, Forza was there, but it had already been announced and they didn't spend too much time on it. So they did this massive showcase getting people excited for Xbox without Halo, without Gears, and without, any sort of Activision Blizzard thing aside from they did show that Overwatch was launching out of 1.0 in August, which,
And
whatever.
everybody
Overwatch
they
is
just
Overwatch is
everybody just rolled
popular.
their eyes and kept them moving. It's just
Yeah,
like
I mean,
everybody like, oh, okay.
look, I mean, I like Overwatch. If I had more time to play games, Overwatch would probably be a game I would still be playing, but I already have my long-term game of choice and that's Destiny and it's not changing anytime
Mhm.
soon. So, uh and if I am going to play a game like that where I'm playing with friends or anybody, it's going to be Fortnite with my nephews. So, um, or if I want to play something PvP, it's going to be Halo, I guess. So it's it's just caught in a crowded area right now, which is fine. But people like Overwatch. I think it was also a I think it was also a thing where they wanted to recognize that they are going to try to incorporate Activision Blizzard into their showcases at some point when this deal
Yeah.
closes, if they, if they don't get blocked from purchase. Uh, and I think this is one of the, and also Phil Spencer wore a Hexen shirt, which is owned by Activision. So, I mean, I think they're trying to really trying to show that they support, they're trying to get this deal done. And I think that was part of it also. So,
Yeah. And I think that's what I kind of liked about this this showcase, that there's definitely a lot of new IPs, but their first party stuff, y- I, I don't think Halo's cutting it anymore. Yes, Gears could do something, but I think the Gears team, uh, I think they're focusing on two projects that's not ready yet. But
well,
when
their
it
one
is shown,
the rumor for Gears is that their one project got canceled because of the overall Microsoft uh layoff round that they did last couple
mm,
months ago. And so some of it affected that team. And so they've kind of, I don't know if they outright canceled that project, but it's at least on hold and it's all hands on deck for Gear 6 is what I've heard.
yes,
So I think we'll see. My theory is that we'll see Gears next year at their showcase. They'll show a collection of the original trilogy, I think. Um, like a Master Chief collection style collection. Maybe redo some of the art and the graphics and stuff for that, and then they'll tease Gear 6 next year, and then in 2025 they'll do the big Gear 6 blowout.
Yeah. So I know we've been talking about, or you mentioned the Gears collection, like kind of HD or remaster. I really feel like that is going to be the thing at the Game Awards, and then next year the big showcase thing for it is going to be Gear 6, because I'm like, what? But I don't know, where do Microsoft go after to have the biggest thing after Starfield is revealed? Because literally, I feel like after Starfield, it really is Gear 6. And regardless of
Well,
what
there's
what
also
turns
that
out.
Halo there's also that Halo project from Certain Affinity also, right? I mean,
Mm,
that big kind of, hey, we're going to branch off the multiplayer as this separate thing and build on it, right? That's been their whole, it's like the worst kept secret, Project Tatanka from Certain Affinity, which if you don't know who they are, they've been responsible for Halo multiplayer since Halo 2,
mhm.
up through all of the Bungie games and through Halo 4. Uh, and then Halo 5, they didn't do Halo 5. I don't remember why they didn't do Halo 5. And then they didn't do Halo Infinite, but now they're trying to kind of rope them back in to help, because obviously Halo has not had the the greatest of reception since launch. So
Mhm.
although I think that's ridiculous, because I mean, yeah, I get it. You want new maps and you want things to do, and in today's day and age, you got to have a battle pass and a plan and seasons and all this stuff. But I mean, we grew up in in an era where Halo 1 and 2, you chose the color of your Spartan and you went, and then you like didn't get anything else. That was it.
That
The
was it.
DLC
Yeah.
the DLC came on a disc. Remember? So,
Yeah.
uh, which was hilarious because I found that disc the other day.
Oh, wow.
So, like, it came in its own separate case, right? But,
Mhm.
like, I kept the disc and threw away the case because I have the collector's edition of Halo 2 and it had that extra disc slot, so I just slapped it in there to not lose it.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so that was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Xbox really knocked it out the park. I know we talked about Tower War being a Switch game. Metaphor Fantasio, uh Still Wakes the Deep, um, which is by the people who made What Happened to Edith Finch, um, the Chinese Room. Um Clockwork Revolution, every time I keep seeing it, I'm just like, of course, BioShock. And I know me and Austin were talking about it. We had kind of had a little discussion about it. Um and I feel like, I know people want to make that connection to BioShock, but that's the only game that's giving them reference to have a idea of what they're going to expect
For which
because
one?
of the visual. Clockwork Revolution, the
Oh,
NX,
yeah, but
and
they've come out and said that it's, like, really nothing like BioShock. It's an like, it's a straight
yeah,
up RPG. Like, there's statistics and leveling and skills and things that you learn, and it's just based on a first person shooter, and which I think is
mm,
cool. I think just, like, the visuals, I think a lot of people, anytime you see something from, like, that era of time, like, any time between the 1900s through
yeah,
1960s or whatever, you automatically think of BioShock. Uh and steampunky, like, you kind of think of almost like an outer world style thing. So I think I like the aesthetic. I think it looks cool. I think playing with time can add a real interesting element to the game. You saw that one part where they kind of like rebuilt a bridge in like reverse time and rebuilt a bridge so they could get through this area, right? And that was kind of
yeah.
cool. Uh, and I think that was a really big, strong announcement for that game. So, but yeah, I mean, you look at this stuff. I mean, Hellblade had a decent showing, although people really wanted to see combat. And I'm like, I don't know what you're expecting. This is a puzzle game. It's not really a heavy combat game. I don't know what you want
I
from
think
this.
it's I think it's the worrisome is because it's giving us too many cutscene styles, and people want to
But
finally know,
that's
what am I actually going to do.
play
People are
the
taking
first
big
one. That's what you're getting. You're getting a pretty version
people
of that first game. That's what you're getting.
people are people are taking precaution, because of the cyberpunk stuff. People don't want to be
Well,
cyberpunked.
Well,
in the
they're
series.
not. They haven't shown anything that's not. It frustrates me because I think a lot of people, including me, like I would have loved to seen some sort of like expansion into like a bigger genre, but also like
Mhm.
I realize that Ninja Theory wants to focus this. The, I think expanding it into like almost like a Horizon Zero Dawn style world or a God of War esque style game would lose the focus of what the story the game is trying to tell. Like it all revolves around her psychosis, right? So like
Yes.
you got to keep it a smaller experience to really focus on that.
Which
And I think people are losing sight of what the first game did so well, and that they're just expecting this. Every game's got to be this big open world or big open experience, and
well,
that's not
I
this
think
game. That's not
I
going to be
I
this game.
I I don't think they're expecting that. They're expecting you've been in development this long and you haven't showed us any gameplay. So, out of the 6 years experience, have you been doing cutscene
They
stuff?
showed gameplay
And
last year.
people don't believe that's gameplay.
Well,
They
then they're
think that's
stupid. Those people are dumb.
they. So I think that everybody's suspecting. If I see gameplay, I want to see if there's a health bar on there, if there's a map. They want to see more detail of what they're going to actually be getting on the
Well,
game
then they're just gonna
and
have to play the
everything.
game when it comes out in February or March or whenever it comes out because
Whenever
they're
it,
not
it
gonna
drops,
show that.
it's
They want to show off the graphical fidelity of this game. They're not gonna put a HUD over top of it to show you how
and
great this game looks.
and and I think that's what everywhere some gamers. I won't say everybody. I think that's what some gamers are kind of because even look, people are mad at Nintendo. You're taking long with Metroid Prime 4. We want to see some good old gameplay. Even after they
I hope
said that the
Metroid Prime
game
4
has
never
been
comes out
reset.
now.
Oh shoot. That game get canceled. Nintendo is going to get so much hate for probably about 2 weeks.
I'm
So
partially kidding,
um,
but did you see that story that they're still hiring for that game? So anybody who wants that game to come out this year
I
is totally just.
I think that I need to read the story because I know they said Retro was hiring, but I don't
Yeah,
think they were hiring for Prime 4.
they're hiring for Metroid Prime 4. But
I thought they was just hiring.
it looks like minor positions, not minor, but not like
Mhm.
directors or producers or anything. They're hiring like artists and animators and stuff. Things that would actually, make the game play. So, uh,
Okay.
like
Probably like for
I think they're
cleanup or
just
something, I'm assuming.
I think they're just staffing up, right? So
Yeah.
let me see if I can find this article real quick. Keep
Because
going.
I
I'm
know,
just
yeah, I know it was on Nintendo Live, and I was kind of wondering. I'm just like, okay, they're doing some more hiring, and which is understandable. They got a new building, they had to move everything, and for a lot of people, need to remember that Retro was not planning to do Metroid Prime 4. This was all supposed to be done in Japan. We know how Japanese develop first person games. They're not known for it. So Nintendo made the decision to give it to Retro and start all over. We've
yeah.
seen the hires from Halo, Battlefield, Call of Duty. We've seen all of those hires. So it's gonna take a while because they had to start it from ground up.
Yeah. So
Straight fresh start.
here are they're so here's what they're hiring, right? Nintendo is hiring for Retro Studios, is currently seeking a visual effects artist, animator, senior external environment artist, and is also looking to fill a number of other smaller positions, including concept artist, uh, which doesn't say Metroid. They're
Mhm.
an environment terrain artist, uh, animator, multiple environment artists, a technical artist, uh, and so yeah, then they're hiring concept artists too. So
So this
and
is
like
gonna be the
concept art.
that's oh
Oh,
go
I
ahead,
want to
Corey.
I want to say one thing too. Like concept artists also do like some of the like you see a lot of stuff from Breath of the Wild that came out either during development or after. They're
Hmm.
also making marketing materials for these games too.
Yeah.
So don't think that they're just as like they're still designing the levels, but like somebody still has to design what they look like, even when they're still in the gray box form, right? So I
Yes.
just, you know,
So this is my thought. And I know everybody go check out the special pass me and Corey had about Metro Prime coming to next gen or being a cross gen game. I think if they're doing all of this hiring, I think they're getting ready for that next gen game.
mhm.
I have a feeling that maybe after the system is announced and it's been out for a year, I think Retro's next game is going to probably come out. I would say 26, 27, depending on when they release the system. Or if they could, maybe it is cross gen and they're working on that version of Metroid Prime 4.
Mm.
Like upgrading the graphics and looking at be like, okay, yeah, it's dropping at the last, but then here go the Switch Deluxe version of it.
Mm.
So now that's a possibility because if they're doing all of this hiring, I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is in trouble. I think they're just planning for their next game and they're ready to have at least another team. I think Nintendo's just like, we're investing money into Retro and now we want them to have two teams.
Yeah. I also wonder if I mean that Star Fox game was shelved, but I also wonder if they're going to try to put that out soon to be like a library filler for the next year because
Hmm.
you know, that was the game they were working on, right? Remember that leaked
Yes.
call sheet? Like everybody's like, "Oh, well all these you know, announcements are fake, like all these like leaked things." But there was that one year where somebody leaked Nintendo's kind of itinerary one year, and it was like it wasn't just like somebody typing something dumb on a screen, right? It was like an
Right.
official thing. And every game on that sheet, I forget what year it was. Every game on that sheet was announced except for Star Fox Grand Prix, and that logo was on that sheet, right?
Hmm.
And so I still think that game is in some sort of development. I still wonder if that game is either paused or done, or Nintendo's waiting to release it in a time where they don't have anything. Uh, but I still think that Star Fox Grand Prix game is coming, and I think the concept of that game actually sounds pretty cool.
I I think if now thinking about it, now hearing about it, Corey, that could be a next year game. Because that could literally drop before Mario Kart 9 or anything.
But it's
Because
not a
we don't even
it's not a proper racing game, right? It's more like a Diddy Kong Racing esque thing, right? Where like,
Mhm.
yeah, there's some racing, but there's also some missions. There's also some sort of like, you know, I mean, it's somewhere in between Diddy Kong Racing and a traditional Star Fox game, is what the rumor was. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I still think that whatever that game is, it's in development.
But can you see them like kind of restarting it if they get that whole team fixed? That's why I said this is more for an expression pass kind of thing. Because that'd be very interesting to see them hire people for them to work on that game.
Hmm.
And depending on what happened to it, maybe they have restarted that game or they maybe took it and like just like we did some animations or tweak some things and added more artwork and environments and gameplay ideas and stuff. Like they could be upgrading that game also.
Yeah.
Man, because to have a retro game for even in the launch window of a next gen Nintendo system, that that would blow my mind to see that happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, there was also that rumor that that game was a leak created by Nintendo to seek out leakers. So I don't,
Mhm.
I don't know if that's really true or not. Who knows? Um, but I guess we'll find out. I still think that Nintendo needs something. They need something fast. I know that Zelda is amazing, but you can't end your year in May, right? You have to have at least one or two games. Which I think like there's going to be some sort of Pokemon game this fall. without a doubt. There's going to be some sort of,
Mhm.
I don't know. I still think there's another Mario Party probably in the works, something along those lines. But like, you need something big for first party, right? You have to have something,
Right,
right?
because like yeah, because outside, like I said, the level 5, Bane and Kados 1 and 2 is the only thing I could think of. I'm like,
Yeah, and
I
those
don't
are remasters.
know.
They're not even like, I mean, you could do like the Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remasters at some point,
Mhm.
right? But like, I don't know, man.
I think the question would probably be is could Nintendo get through the fall with ports
I
and
mean,
in the
they
sole
probably
releases?
they probably could. And I mean, the last couple waves of Mario Kart DLC also are coming this year, right? So,
Mhm.
I mean, Nintendo probably could do that, but then you're going to get the conversation, well, Zelda Nintendo's swan song, is Nintendo Switch done? Are these games ever coming out? Where's Metroid Prime 4? You're going to get these conversations, and I don't think
Yes.
Nintendo has been on such an upswing the last 5-6 years, right, with Switch, and they've done such an amazing job of keeping fans engaged and having games ready, and you know they don't want to start having those conversations we were having at the end of the Wii and the Wii U life cycle, right? Where like, where are the
Mhm.
games? What are we waiting on? What's next? And yeah, Zelda's great. It's going to last a lot of people, a lot of gamers, months, if not years of their time, right? I mean, yeah, but
And
what's
and
next?
I
What is next?
and I think that's why I'm like I'm not concerned with Nintendo to do anything for the fall and winter because they had such a strong like last 6 years.
Hmm.
I think because of my argument has been I need Xbox and Sony to do something for this fall and winter, and definitely Xbox have a lot planned for this fall. I don't know about winter yet. Sony got some stuff up in their hand. So if those two want to release something and really get gamers engaged into their ecosystem, the
Hmm.
time is now. I have said that Nintendo can fall back. You don't have to hit so hard. You can get all through with some second party and partner stuff in DLC. I think
Hmm.
because you have been going strong as a machine for the last 6.5 years, it's insane. We got still so much content from Nintendo first party that is mind-boggling that people are still getting into Fire Emblem Three Houses. I keep bringing it up because people are still playing it. People are going to
Well, that's because
get Breath of the
I think
Wild and
Fire
stuff.
I think Fire Emblem Engage was such a disappointment to a lot of people. uh
Well,
I that
I
game
mean,
was, man, I wanted to like that game so much, and like
mhm,
the gameplay was fun, but there was nothing to keep me, pardon the pun, but there was nothing to keep me engaged in between battles. Like, the
mhm,
characters weren't very interesting, and I wonder if I just spent so much time with Three Houses, and like I love those characters, but like I also spent a lot of time with Fire Emblem Awakening and
yeah.
uh Fates, right? And that didn't bother me, So
I
I
think
don't know what it was, man.
I think Koei Tecmo got. I think Koei Tecmo brought something to the series, and it hooked a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like shout out to the intelligence system, giving direction and helping out. But Koei Tecmo developed those games, and I really think they brought in a lot that just got people hooked. Continue to stay hooked on it. So it's
Yes,
like
shout out to
we
all the people who are who are thirsty for the anime waifus, okay? 'Cause that's
uh,
essentially what that's essentially essentially what Three Houses was a little bit of combat in between.
that's that's Nick's work with the waifus and stuff.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, but it's but we had that discussion that Fire Emblem has now become two separate versions. You got
Mhm.
the intelligence system ones, and then you got the Koei Tecmo ones. And of course, coming this Thursday, or by the time you guys see this, Fire Emblem, the Blazing Battle is coming on NSO for GBA Expansion Pass. People are excited to play it, but you gotta realize this is gonna have permadeath. Yes, you got the rewind feature, but get ready to get your tail kicked
Yeah.
in this game.
Mhm.
This is not this is not your modern day Fire Emblem. This is old school, hard as ever, yin yang Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that actually turned a lot of people off, and I wonder if Nintendo saw that. I mean, I wonder how many people that bought it expecting a Three Houses style adventure, and then they didn't get one. You know,
Hmm.
because I think not to keep harping on the negatives of Engage or anything, because I actually don't think that game was bad. I actually think hardcore Fire Emblem fans who've been playing it since GBA, which shout out to the GBA version that just came out on Nintendo Switch Online, but like that game was made for those people. But I think the people that are really into Fire Emblem now started with
Hmm.
Awakening or the
Yeah.
3DS versions, right? And that's when the relationship building was happening. That's when building out your kind of I guess house or you could start setting stuff up and being more personable with your characters and stuff, and reverting back to the quote unquote old ways of Fire Emblem, I think turned a lot of people off. And I think you have to cater to the audience of the fans of Fire Emblem now, as opposed to like what it was when you first started, right? And I think that
Right.
uh I wonder if Nintendo has taken note of that, or intelligent systems have taken note of that and was like, "Oh, well, maybe
And
we should do more of this style of Fire Emblem instead." Or if they're
yeah.
just gonna maybe they're gonna do the thing where they alternate, right? Where like
Hmm.
maybe the next game is from Koei Tecmo, and we get a Three Houses style game. Or, by the way, I got in a conversation with someone on Twitter the other day about how Shez deserves her own real Fire Emblem game. So,
I
uh,
I'm not ready for that.
oh man, I just
Oh,
want like
it's a day, Corey. It's a day one purchase.
oh, I
But
know.
I literally don't know. I'm just like, what do you do? Like,
Yeah,
I would sit back because my thing is just like, okay, touch your systems. You can't touch this. This is Kobe Technos. They gotta do this and
yeah.
everything. So,
I really,
where
man,
would they go?
I really want that Byleth statue that they released. That's like $300.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm gonna
Uh,
sell. I'm gonna sell like 3 of these PlayStation centric statues just to get that.
oh wow.
I'm just
uh,
kidding.
but
Maybe.
yeah,
Oh
it's.
God.
Uh, I all I know is, and I'm ready. My phone will be ready for the phone call and the text. If the next Fire Emblem is a pirate game, and
Mhm.
you see it if it's a Nintendo Direct that happens, and me and you are off, and we're both watching it,
Yeah.
like I'm like, okay, tell your job that you're going on lunch. Let's get on
Mhm.
Zencaster. Let's get a 25-minute reaction, and let's spend 10 minutes on this Fire Emblem Pirate game, because this, I think, now it's time. Not now, it literally is time. Who would do
Yeah.
it though? I don't know. I think it's a. I, I I don't know if Koei Tecmo is ready for a pirate style game.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I guess. I mean, we could sit here all day and talk about that, but I mean,
Yes.
as we are recording in the middle of the day, we don't have all day. So, um,
Yes.
yeah. I don't know. Is there any other things you want to talk about from these conferences that was announced? I feel like I'm
Um,
missing something from Xbox,
I know. I,
actually.
I know quickly. I know quickly for Starfield. I'm going to begin the controller this week. I'm gonna order it. I am looking forward to it. The 30 frames thing discussion that don't do nothing for me. But I did ask a question um to the EXP crew. And I asked them, with Digital Friday talking about 30 frames kind of still being the standard. And I was asking them, do you think that standard is going to carry over to Microsoft's next gen console, and they just need to start marketing frames per second, um, and everything. Um,
Yeah, but I also think
your
the
stuff.
scope of Starfield, right? it's not the same
Hmm.
scope as something like um as Redfall, for example. Dude, there's so much math and so many planets you can visit and just the things you can do in that game. And by the way, apparently it helped out with the graphics and the shooting in Starfield, so
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting. Uh, but like, I'm shocked that they have it at a locked 30. To be honest, like just the amount of things that that game looks like it's trying to do is incredible.
Yes.
Whether like we stick with it or not, like I'll play it because it's on Game Pass, but like I'm not a huge Bethesda games person, right? Like, I mean, I played a lot of Oblivion, and that was probably the last game I put more than a significant amount of time into. I'm like on the Bethesda side, I'm more into like machine games and id and
Yeah.
interested in what Arcane's doing than something like, although I say that not playing those games, and then I played a ton of Breath of the Wild, and then I got really into open world games. So maybe if I went back and played them, maybe maybe it would change my mind. So maybe I'll play Skyrim at some point. But
Yeah.
I think that game is so ambitious in a lot of ways. And the
Yeah.
shipbuilding too alone, probably, man.
I the shipbuilding stuff. I think I'm not creative enough for it. I can't wait for people to get into it and really show off some cool designs and stuff. Um,
How many people
I
are going to
think
build like Star Wars ships or like the Enterprise or something from what are these other shows like Battlestar Galactica? Like how many
mm,
people are going to start building like X-wings and stuff, you know?
shoot, I want to see someone build stuff from Pilot Wings and put it in this game.
Oh boy, pilot wings. That's I want to see some classic video game Star Wars ships like the Ebon Hawk from Knights of the Old Republic or what
Yes.
was Dash Rendar's ship from Shadows of the Empire in 64. Man. By the
I would
way,
like to see
by the
Okay.
way, Shadows of the Empire, just put that in a protective case too. Complete inbox, put it in a protective
Oh,
case.
nice.
I told you I was doing that with my games, right? Like my older
Yes.
games where like once we move and have a house and like I have like an office space where I can display everything and kind of have my corner in the basement somewhere somewhere like I'm putting all my N64 and GameCube games in protective cases and I'm trying to acquire at least some of the games. By the way, Last Story Collector's Edition, I found it at my parents' house. I sent that to you.
Oh,
The
yeah,
picture
you
of the Last
did.
Story. Yeah, I don't. So
Yes.
here's the thing: the game got destroyed, but I kept the collector's edition at my parents' house. So like like all I need
Uh,
is the game, right? But I have the
uh,
full collector's edition aside from the game, so I'm just gonna buy the game off eBay and stick it in there. But uh, man, shout out to Mistwalker, man, Lost Odyssey, and
Dude,
Blue
when
Dragon
you
was okay, but Lost Odyssey and Last
Blue
Story,
Dragon is good. I have Blue Dragon to have Lost Story, I mean Lost Odyssey, and I know you put it on Twitter to be like, man, we need a sequel or a remake of Lost Odyssey. I'm like, yeah, that energy, lots of people feel for that game.
mhm, yeah,
So,
uh,
but shoot, yeah, come on, Nancy, port the Last Story to Switch. Like, I'm here for it.
yeah,
Like, talking because everybody was talking about JRPG players are eating good. I'm like, yeah, we've been eating good. We've been eating
yeah,
good, definitely on Switch. But we need Nitty to like drop some hotness.
yeah.
I
I
need
think
some potato
it's
soup right now.
oh jeez.
uh,
I'm trying to figure out was there anything else? I don't think there was really anything else for me from that showcase. I'm excited for Xbox. I'm excited to see like how I want to see how Nintendo responds. I know they don't, quote unquote
mhm.
respond, right? Like the way that Xbox did to the PlayStation showcase, right? Which was like abysmal and even more so now compared to what was shown this week. But I want to see how Nintendo kind of comes back and says, "Hey, we're still here too. Remember us? This system that has sold 130 million units and you know,
Continue to sell.
yeah. So, yeah, I want to Nintendo's really like the last one that we really don't know anything that's coming, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well,
Yeah.
PlayStation, I guess, but I don't really care about PlayStation. I'm not gonna lie. I've just come to the conclusion that I just don't care about PlayStation, and that's okay. I think, you know.
Well, I know Final Fantasy 16 is the big game this week.
I know, and I've been watching it, and I
And
think it looks cool, and I will probably play it. I just like, the thing is too is like I was really excited for it, and somewhere in between being really excited for it and like everybody playing it, I just kind of like am not excited for it, you know.
like
And
kind of
maybe if
like
I
shrug, like
Yeah, it's kind of
okay.
like I would rather, like, I still want to go back and play Jedi Survivor is the game that I want to play next, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we'll see. I need to finish Zelda is what I need to do. I'm pulling an Ed and I'm
Same.
just like putting it down and not playing it. Except
No.
except I have 3.5 years left on on that timeline before you can start making fun of me. So
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I need to get back into Tears, and finish it up and stuff. But I'm still exploring, finding shrines and stuff.
mhm,
Um, but dude, I jumped into, so I popped in, One Piece Odyssey. There was
mm,
from the anime manga One Piece.
uh-huh,
Um, and it's like a traditional role playing game. Dude, the reason why this game is super long is that every 10 to 20 steps it's another cutscene. I spent I spent so much time going through the cutscenes than fighting battles. Like I haven't even took time to sit down and grind and everything. And I'm like, are you serious? And I'm playing this on normal. I was just like, how many cutscenes is in this game?
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah. I'm very
Did I
very
get
happy. I'm very. The thing is with Tears of the Kingdom, I wish I just like so as of this recording, we're recording the book club on all of the dungeons tonight, and so I gotta finish the last one that we're talking about before the show tonight, which I will do my best. I will play it in handheld mode for the first time since uh so man. Also, I the more I see of this ally handheld, the more I'm like, man, if I could just have that and play Destiny and Game Pass and handheld. Oh my gosh.
is that the white one
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that's doing it? I think was Phil Spencer talking about it?
Uh-huh. That yeah, Xbox has been promoting it as their handheld. So
It's
because
because Game
because
Pass.
it's a full Windows 11 PC with, and then
Interesting.
yeah, and you can play any any what do you call it? PCs, digital storefronts like, BattleNet or uh EA Origin
Steam.
or the Windows Store or Game Pass or Steam. Like you can play everything on it. And I'm like, man, if I could play Destiny on this, if I can play Game Pass games on this, and if I can play Roller Coaster Tycoon on this thing. I'll be like, I'm
I could
set.
just I could just see you just be in heaven.
Yeah.
Just
The only thing that bothers me is the battery life, right? But like the thing is I would only play this on the couch while I'm watching TV. Like I don't know
Mhm.
if it would be like a travel device unless I had some sort of giant battery pack to attach to it. Um so that's
And
like
it's
the
a
only issue.
cloud-based system, right?
Nope. Nope. Everything is you can download everything to it. It is a native
Uh
device.
like is there a micro SD card kind of thing?
Well, it's got an SSD
Or
inside and then you can add
oh
storage with a
SSD. Okay.
SSD card or a
Oh,
SD card. You
SD
can
card. Okay.
it has an SSD inside, and then you can also add an SD card for additional storage.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cuz dude, if you do play Destiny, you're going to need the storage.
Yeah. Well, it's a 512. So Destiny would be like one game and then I would just do like two or three games on the SSD,
Gotcha.
like a Gears Tactics is something that I would love to play on in a handheld mode, right? Like that's a game that I loved while I was playing it, but like that's a handheld game to me. You know, tactics games are kind of handheld games to me. So, um,
Understandable. That's
but also
understandable.
like the other thing to me is like I have a Mac, right? That's what we record on. That's what I edit on. And the one thing I hate is that whenever I need to use Windows, I need to boot it in from Boot Camp into it, right? And
Yes.
I don't want to do that. And so the fact that there's a 100% functional Windows 11 PC on there that, you know, you can buy, like it comes with a dock, but you can also buy like an accessory that uh you know has USB ports and, you know, all these things that you would need to run, like, you know, and Bluetooth, so you could hook up like a keyboard and a mouse to it and everything.
Yeah.
So like if we ever wanted to stream anything, hook that thing up to a monitor and we could stream shows to it, you know, and
Oh,
that would
nice.
be way easier to do than uh you know, but that's something we can discuss another day at this point.
Yeah. I think that's the point that we're going to wrap up, everybody.
Yeah.
This was a really good discussion. Just kind of recapping the Summer Game Fest, giving our thoughts about the games. The presentations you guys could check out on various YouTube channels. Let us know what you guys think of the presentations, and are you excited for some games? What you think Nintendo has planned for the fall, or what you would definitely like to see. But with that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Bye.
Nintendo Pow Block is a product of Boss Rush Media, LLC, and is recorded from our headquarters in Akron, Ohio. The show is hosted by me, Edward Varnell. My co-hosts are Corey Dirrig and Corey Yikes. You can find Corey at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram, as well as hosting the Boss Rush Podcast and Tower Casuals, the Destiny Podcast. You can find Corey at Corey_Yikes on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. You can find me at That Richard Cole on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Nintendo Pow Block on all social media platforms at Pow Block Podcast. You can also follow Boss Rush Media and Boss Rush Network on all major social media platforms. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord and Facebook groups to interact with other friends and fans. Visit bossrush.net for more great content and patreon.com/bossrushmedia to learn how you can support this show. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.